Garden. Boston Celtic basketball is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all that you do, this Bud's for you. By your New England Pontiac dealers, the home of the hot ones for 1986. By Fleet National Bank, New England's financial resource. Remember, you can always bank on Fleet for the innovative services and personal attention you require. By your neighborhood True Value hardware store. By your New England Nissan Datsun dealers, where all you're going to hear is yes, we can. And by Sullivan Tire, family car care centers. At Sullivan Tire, you'll be treated with our family spirit because that's what Sullivan Tire is all about. Welcome, everybody, to a sold-out Boston Garden, where tonight the Celtics are going to put that long home court winning streak on the line as they go against the Atlanta Hawks in Game 2 of the NBA playoffs. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Gorman, along with Tom Heinsohn. Welcome back to our coverage of Boston Celtic basketball in the playoffs. And, Tom, I guess the big question would seem to be right off the bat, will it be as easy for the Celtics tonight as it appeared to be on Sunday?
Well, the Atlanta Hawks already had themselves convinced that the reason that they got drubbed in the first game was the fact that they had a tiring prior round and only had a day off. Now, that's good reasoning, but they have to get those feet working, and I don't think that loss to the Celtics really hurt their confidence. They rationalized it away. They've got a real good basketball team that can cause the Celtics troubles because they've got a lot of speed at their command, particularly at the forward spot.
Well, indeed, you get to the forward spot and you talk about the Neek. Now, he was not the man, Dominique Wilkins, everybody was waiting for on Sunday. Again, I guess the question again is, can he be denied?
Certainly can be, particularly if they get that fast break style going. Dominique can run, rebound and run, get to that third man in the fast break, probably faster than anybody else in the league, and that includes James Worthy. And we know how devastating Worthy has been in the past when he's played with the Lakers in their fast break style. So Dominique is a man to be reckoned with. The Celtics have a rather unique way of dealing with Dominique, and I find it very entertaining.
All right, we're going to see that as the night goes on. A key member of how the Celtics deal with Dominique Wilkins is going to be Larry Bird. Maybe not mano-mano, as you like to call it, but Larry's going to be in the neighborhood of Dominique most of the night, won't he?
I'll tell you, what they try to do to Dominique is make him play a lot of defense. He matches up against Larry Bird, and they really key on where his head is. They try to slip the ball past his ear, and they try to deflate his ego a little bit, attack his morale. And the Celtics really make a determined effort to do that game in and game out. Make them play defense, get them lost, make them face the ball as much as possible, be a prime defensive player, and not be thinking so much of offense. Up the other end, Kevin McHale has got a tough job because Dominique has got this great quickness and speed.
Okay, with the Hawks scoring only in the 90s on Sunday, that is definitely not their type of game. They like to run the ball up and down the floor. A key to that is Spud Webb. Spud was not the catalyst on Sunday that he has been in the past. Again, against a team like the Celtics, can Spud Webb be the player that the NBA is? Hey, welcome back to a sold-out Boston Garden, everybody. We are just about set now to meet the starting lineups for tonight's game. Mike Gorman along with Tom Heinsohn, and this should be a dandy. Again, the Atlanta Hawks have had a couple of days now to sit around and think about what happened to them on Sunday and maybe to get their legs underneath them a little bit after that tough series with the Detroit Pistons. I don't think too many folks think this is going to be a four-game series.
I think that, more importantly, they probably have their heads into the series. That's what you really need to have. They were still savoring, like a young ball club will, that win, that first-round win over the Pistons. and didn't really have enough time to get their emotions into this series. The Celtics were just sitting here waiting for him for a couple of days, preparing, and all of a sudden the game's on the Hawks and they're not emotionally ready.
Here is one of the real surprises of the playoffs, Randy Whitman.
6'4", number 25, Glenn Rivers.
Doc Rivers will be the other guard.
The centers from
Whitman has been an outstanding player for this ball club, particularly from the outside. When they slow down, he's the guy they go to from the outside. Doc Rivers pretty effective. And the tree defensively can get the job done when he's not biting fingers.
And there's Dominique Wilkins.
And the other forward from Michigan State, 7 foot even, number 42.
A very unheralded player on this club, but a good one, Kevin Willis, a 7-foot power forward.
Assistant coaches, Willis Reed,
We're going to look at Mike Fratello, the head coach. A lot of people say Mike Fratello will be the coach of the year in the NBA.
And now,
if I had a vote, I'd still give it to Casey, but Mike Fratello has done a tremendous job down there in Atlanta.
And he's a free agent coach. And already a lot of potential jobs open for him to look forward to maybe getting.
Dennis Johnson, as usual, at one of the backcourt spots for Boston.
The other guard is from Brigham Young, 6'5", number 44, Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge, who played very well on Sunday and really has had an exceptional playoff series for the Celtics so far.
That's the mark of the real great ones. Whether they pick it up a notch during the playoffs, Danny's done it.
From Minnesota, 6'10",
Robert Parish, Kevin McHale. And of course, LB, Larry Bird.
Indiana State is 6'9", and number 33, Larry Bird. Trainer of the Celtics.
Boston's matchups, as we look at Casey Jones, who we both think ought to be coach of the year.
Rogers, head coach.
A tough job for Casey Jones to match up is Bird on Willis. That may really concern Larry about his team defense because he can't turn Willis loose on the boards. He's going to be very, very selective, or have to be selective, in when he plays the team defense and when he has to go and check Willis off the boards.
All right, we are set to go. And there is Mr. Fratello, the officials for tonight's game. Earl Strong, Dick Bavetta, and Billy Oakes. Billy Oakes is going to be, Dick Bavetta is going to be the alternate. Earl Strong and Billy Oakes will be out there blowing the whistles. There are the matchups once again.
If Boston can take the speed advantage away from the Hawks, which they did on Sunday, they should win this game because they execute their set offense a lot better than the Hawks do. And Boston really got a lot of good fast break opportunities of their own on Sunday.
You notice Danny Ainge and Tree Rollins do shake hands before the game, so maybe the hatchet is somewhat buried there. We are underway. Celtics control the tap.
You know, the psychology after a blowout usually swings to the team that got blown out. So Boston, let's see how quickly they get off to the mark.
Wilkins has got Bird. McHale's left alone. Kevin started off hot in Sunday's game. Boston up by a deuce just underway. McHale is going to be with Wilkins on the other end, and that'll have Bird chasing Willis.
Kevin will back way off him.
DJ, the quick push-up.
Trying to front Kevin McHale, not let him get the good low post position or an entry pass into him.
Ainge is down trying to post up Whitman. DJ backing his way in on Rivers. Takes the fall away.
He'll break anybody's defense down.
Hawks up quickly, and Boston with the quick hands in the defensive end. Foul Rollins over the top.
Rollins forced to pick up Kevin McHale. So they're prepared to pick the first big man that comes up the court. They'll have to do a lot of talking, the Hawks. But Willis will guard him and front him on the up quicks.
DJ again. Bird is there. Hawks definitely looking to up-tempo this game. Wilkins hits his first.
Well, that's a good sign for Wilkins, because if he hits a couple of those, Kevin's going to have to go out and get him a little bit closer And he's got the speed to blow by Kevin. Oh.
Danny has just been burying that shot. Willis, the quick turnaround. It goes. Willis pretty much was the offense early in Sunday's game for the Atlanta Hawks.
Well, Willis, being guarded by Bird, has a tremendous height advantage.
Inside, nice look, and Bird's got 2 more.
I'll tell you, they key on Dominique Wilkins. Wherever he is, Bird isn't, and they get him the ball. I'm telling you, I've never saw or seen in the game a ball player exploited defensively as much as the Celtics do to Dominique.
Rollins wants it down low on Parish, and we've got an illegal defense called against the Celtics.
Well, the Hawks have Kevin Willis guarded by Bird as a possible good matchup situation. And if Dominique can hit a couple outside shots, maybe he'll be able to put the real drive moves on Kevin.
Wilkins baseline, hits over the top. Cale was right there in the shooting hand, but Dominique was just too high. Hawks down 2, 9:27 to play here in the first. If you just came in and they're going up and down, it's 10-8 already. Less than 3 minutes played in the game. 6 for Bird. 3 out of 3 shooting. Doc Rivers, nice move. Parish the air ball. Wilkins to follow. Stays alive on the offensive board, and I think it's going to be Dennis Johnson. DJ thought he had ball, but he'll pick up a foul.
Well, Dominique is very good inside close to the basket on rebounds because as small as he is, he still can go up over the tallest of the Celtics with those springy legs of his.
Andy Whitman coming around a couple of screens. Bird and Ainge collaborate on the rebound. Parish beats his man for no, won't go down. Looked like he had an easy 2. Might have been too far under. Whitman, same spot. Takes it to the hoop this time. Good move. This kid has really emerged in the playoffs, averaging 20 a game. Foul outside. Celtics will inbound. Second foul on the Hawks.
Now they've switched Tree Rollins over to Kevin McHale, and he's going to lay some wood on him, try and keep him out of that low post position.
McHale just skips by him. John Konkak got up off the bench. Mike Fratello wants Rollins out of there with the 2 early fouls. Willis cleared out DJ underneath and gets 2.
The Celtics ready to rip that ball through the nets and get it up the court quickly.
Bird trying to go to Parish. Got it back. And they say Robert got a hand on it. At least Billy Oakes says that. Here comes Konkak into the ball game, and Rollins will go out. Tree again with both of the Atlanta fouls here in the first quarter. Just one on the Celtics. 7:58 to play. Boston by a deuce.
It's a tough assignment for Tree Rollins to guard Kevin McHale. They're trying to put size against Kevin to intimidate him, but much like the Bulls did with Corazine, that didn't work, and I don't think it'll work here with Atlanta.
Whitman again free. They need him to hit that shot as Bird got planted underneath. DJ. Bird trying to keep it alive, but Konkak showed the good hands. Here comes Rivers. Hawks have a chance for their first lead. Wilkins. Now Rivers to set up again.
Tell you, that was a good fast break opportunity. Even though they missed the shot, they got the offensive rebound.
Whitman is coming off those screens, firing. Hawks with their first lead of the night, 16-14. Underneath, Boston ball. Wilkins got a hand on it last.
Every time the Celtics have played the Hawks, they've used that play and run it to death.
Celtics are going to take a timeout here. 6:59 left to play in the first quarter, and it's a shootout so far. Atlanta 16, Boston 14.
Change to Larry Bird, and he's looking and looking and looking, and there's the cut, and left Wilkins in the dust. They rubbed him off up top on a pick, And Dominique Wilkins is going to see a lot of that. And as soon as he turns his head, Danny Ainge is going to be looking for Larry Bird.
You see Montreal with the lead in the second period on the Oilers will be joining that all-important game for Hartford. 7th game against Montreal at halftime. DJ on the cut for 2.
Great poise by Kevin McHale to wait till Dennis Johnson got free.
Willis with a lot of his range. Wilkins, though, will put it up from anywhere. Nice finger roll.
Kevin bit for the outside shot.
You can see the Atlanta defense set up. McHale gets a double team, but goes anyway.
Nobody stops Kevin McHale, and the bigger they are, the easier they are for Kevin McHale.
Doc Rivers. Rebound to McHale. Kevin ran a fast break himself Sunday with Robert Parish. Again, Kevin looking to get down and post up on Konkak. In they go to him. Gets triple teamed and stripped. Konkak open from the wing. Long. And I mean long with the jumper. Here comes Ainge. Robert Parish now looking to go on Konkak. McHale spins through.
Looked like he might have got fouled on that one, too.
McHale 4 out of 4 here in the early going. Willis is trying to post up Bird. Now Wilkins is going to swing it the other way. Whitman.
That's the shot that he was hitting so regularly against the Pistons.
Boy, he really burnt the Pistons, too. Ainge penetrates baseline. Nowhere to go. Finds Bird. Hawks looking to run. Wilkins in the middle of the break. Nice hands by DJ, but Wilkins got his back. Keeps it alive. Rebound Johnson. Up to Bird. Boston a 2-on-2 break. Parish is the trailer. Larry will take it. Got it.
Fake the pass. Made the defense retreat wide open. Dangerous move to leave Larry Bird open around the foul line.
Celtics come out of their timeout with 6 straight, and Mike Fratello wants to talk it over. 4:42 left to go here in the first. Boston by 4. You can see Bill Walton making his first appearance of the night for the Celtics. Robert Parish has gone to the Boston bench. Bird, McHale, DJ, and Ainge all stay in the lineup.
And Robert Parish went to the locker room, too.
Did not see what happened to the Chief there. We'll try to check on that.
One thing we have to really look for, Mike, is the Celtics stopping the fast break, the rebounding off the fast break. They've got to get back quick enough and somebody pick up a person and make sure that they block them out off the board.
And you see the Hawks keeping it alive on the offensive board. Earl Strom says it went off the back of somebody's neck. Casey Jones, Ray Melchiori over there on the Boston bench. Casey up and talking. Whitman gets double teamed immediately. Wilkins will fire away. Nice block by Dennis Johnson. What a defensive play by DJ. 3-on-1 break. McHale, and he's fouled by Wilkins. What a defensive play by Dennis Johnson on the other end.
Going to take a look at it. He let Rivers get inside him for the rebound, but was smart enough to hang right on the ball. And here they come up quickly off the steal and almost got a hoop out of it, but hard foul that time by Dominique. Celtics run their break more out of good opportunities. The Atlanta Hawks really try to keep the pressure on you with pace.
McHale goes 0 for 2, but Bill Walton kept the rebound alive. They go right back inside to Kevin. DJ's open into Walton. Got it.
When they're down, you're up. When they're up, you go down. Walton's got that lesson mastered.
Wilkins is isolated. Now the Celts come to help, and Walton picks off the pass. Boston a 3-on-2 break this time. DJ might be on. Oh, Earl Strom has got the foul the other way. I thought Billy Oakes had Konkak over the back.
There's DJ coming in, forced to take the shot as they played him for the pass. And that was a good defensive move by Whitman. And there's contact from Concact right behind DJ, but they give it to Dennis.
Said he was over the back of Rivers. Second foul on DJ, second on the team. Rivers looked open for the layup and threw it away. Wilkins chasing him, but Danny got it.
Dominique, aware that he didn't want to pick up his third foul, just turned Danny loose.
And there you see Robert Parish back on the Boston bench, and a 20-second timeout has been called by the Atlanta Hawks' Mike Fratello. Good chance to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Boston Celtics and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Boston Celtics and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers on this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel, and they are approved by the Boston Celtics. 3:11 to play in the first. Boston by 8, their biggest lead.
And some excellent defense. As soon as there's any kind of penetration, all the white jerseys sink into the green painted area and cut off the passing lanes. They've picked off some beauties.
Here you see the Hawk shooting percentages slipping drastically. It was 63% about 4 minutes ago. Rivers, Whitman, top of the key. Got it. 8 points for Randy Whitman here in the first quarter. Mike Fratello, always busy on the sideline.
He's from New Jersey. All guys from New Jersey are busy.
You know that his only previous head coaching experience before the Hawks was a 9th grade team in New Jersey? That's true. That's true.
As a head coach.
As a head coach. The only team he had ever been a head coach of was a 9th grade team in New Jersey.
And he wasn't bigger than those kids either.
No. Underneath, Walt. Nice look by McHale.
What a beautiful pass by Kevin McHale.
Rivers is open. Penetrates.
Walton got caught in between trying to go back and switch with Danny Ainge. Doc Rivers really took advantage of that.
On the cut, DJ.
Now they're running a pick and roll play to death. And taking the weak side of the defense of the Atlanta Hawks out of play.
Danny Ainge is going to be whistled for a foul on the reach-in on Kevin Willis.
You know, there's some matchups here that Atlanta hasn't really utilized, perhaps as well as they might. Kevin Willis being guarded by Bird, make a quick move to the hoop. Get Bird involved in a lot of defense. Instead, they've gone to Whitman with the outside shot. You can't altogether blame him. He's been shooting really, really well in the prior series.
Willis struggles a bit from the free throw line. It's more like this form right there. Walt can't get the layup and crashes hard into the post on the other end. Now it's coming out okay. Whitman.
You know, when they push the ball up the floor fast, and they've got some good outside shooters like Whitman, and the defense sinks into the paint, he's going to get a lot of wide open shots.
Whitman is 5 of 7. Walton's free.
Dominique Wilkins never got into the rotation. That's why Walton was wide open.
Wilkins wants it on the other end. Won't go down. Gets it back. Well, you talk about hang time. This kid has got hang time. And he went up and then just made up his mind once he got up there which way the shot was going. Watch him.
He grabs a rebound in here amongst 3 white jerseys and pulls it down and then can power it up against the best of the big guys that Celtics have to offer. I mean, that's tough. Can shoot it from outside, take it strong to the hoop and rebound like that. That's an all-pro player.
At 42 against the Celtics earlier this year, and that's the most that any opponent had scored against the Celtics in the regular season before Michael Jordan showed up. Celtics are looking for Walton on the cut all the time. Rivers to quick hands, and it'll be Hawk ball. DJ touched it last. Third turnover on the Celtics here. 1:08 to play in the first quarter. Boston's lead is 5.
They're quickly doubling McHale now. So some of the other Celtic players will have to hit that outside shot.
Bird the steal. Saw that one coming. Will Willis catch him? Nope.
Willis was afraid to pick up that extra foul, too.
Rivers is double teamed. Willis took a little stutter step to start that move. And the foul went off.
Goaltending.
Goaltending? All right, let's see it.
It's going to be on Bill Walton. And it hit the right side and was on the left side of the rim. Yeah, probably was.
Give the basket to Willis. Bird, great up fake. Six of 7 shooting for Larry Bird so far, and the Hawks are going to look for the final shot. The Celtics might get the ball back with about 3 seconds to play here in the quarter. Boston by 7.
Larry Bird is not the type of player that Dominique Wilkins relishes playing on defense, because Bird will outthink him every way to the middle.
Ainge for 3. Well, we thought the tempo of this game would pick up at the Garden. It has. We've played 1 in game 2. And the Celtic lead is 5, 36-31.
Who knows that Willis, when he comes to the top of the key, is an important swing man for their offense. Got right out in the passing lane, never let him get the ball. Knew that he was going to get the pass, and then converts it nicely into a layup. But I'll tell you this, that's how smart Larry Bird is. Knows their play pattern, knows how important that big guy is in swinging the ball from one side of the court to the other.
At VUC still in the second period. Montreal leading the Whalers 1-0. Viewers here in Massachusetts will get a chance to see a tape delay of that game tonight at midnight. 7th game in Montreal. Will be joining it at halftime. Whitman has it slapped away, but it's picked off by Rivers. Seasting, as you can see, into the lineup for Boston. Wedman is also in. Strong rebound, won't go down. Contact second time, and a foul is called. It'll go on Ainge. Here comes Cliff Livingston into the lineup, too, for the Hawks, as both teams now have gone to their bench. Wilkins will sit down for Atlanta. So Livingston, Willis, Contact, Rivers, and Whitman stay on the floor for the Hawks. Ainge and Seasting, the Boston backcourt. Bird, Wedman, and Walton up front. Again, Robert Parish came back from the dressing room, is seated over on the Celtic bench. Walton has been in there now for about 4 or 5 minutes.
Livingstone being in the lineup right now gives them a real strong rebounder, and again speed at the wing position. And should Spud Webb get into this ball game, they're going to really be able to put some speed on the Celtics once again. That's a real prime purpose of that second unit of the Hawks, is run them and run them hard.
Whitman coming around the screen. Scotty has been quiet in the playoffs so far. Seasting open. Rebound, Whitman. Got it.
That'll get him thinking.
Spud Webb is up off the Atlanta bench now and will make his first appearance next whistle. Whitman, double pump job. Here the Hawks trying to keep it alive, but Wedman tracks it down. And a foul is going to go on Kevin Willis, who came for the steal. Kind of a risky move there by Willis.
Well, he allowed Bird to get free for that layup without contesting him, and then he makes a foolish foul like that. But here's Willis coming in, figuring that he's going to make the steal, but he comes from over the top, and that's a surefire foul. As soon as the referee sees the hand come down, the whistle usually blows.
You see Spud Webb is out there. Seasting is going to have him covering him defensively. Bird wants it. 14 here for Larry in the first half, and Webb, as you see, is going to push it up quickly. Livingston, strong move.
Scott Whitman got tripped up on the pick. Livingston doesn't like to shoot the ball from the outside. He likes to take it strong to the hoop.
Haynes looks like he wants to work on Whitman. Now goes to Walton. Bill looking for a cutter. Jerry's open.
Oh, great play. Wedman set a beautiful pick. Seasting was sitting behind it. Walton made the perfect pass.
This is the matchup you mentioned, Tom. Willis on Bird. Willis long with that, trying to hit off the glass. Boston ball. Dominique Wilkins and Tree Rollins are going to come back into the game for the Hawks. Willis and Concat go out. Webb is a much better player with the likes of Wilkins on the floor. Scott thought about shooting it, but couldn't get the handle. Now he does. And Webb tracks it down.
Boy, Walton just shadowed him, cut him off at the pass.
Wilkins forces one up. Rebound pulled down underneath Livingston. And now the Hawks are going to set up again.
They're leapers, and they're quick to lose balls, these Hawks.
Whitman gets to shoot his bounce. Ainge the three. Won't go down. Rollins. Here comes Webb. Here's the penetration. Dumps it off to Whitman. Basket will count, and the foul is going to go on Seasting on the way by. Hawks putting a little run together as Kevin McHale checks back in. Now Dennis Johnson is up off the Boston bench. He'll come in too. Larry Bird is going to get his first rest of the night.
Spud Webb, as far as I'm concerned, is the accelerator. He puts the Atlanta Hawks in high gear. They gear down with Doc Rivers to about third. And when Spud is in there, they're in around fifth. He can really take advantage of a non-hustling defense. The Celtics really have to get back quickly against him.
You see Johnny Davis, number 16, is also checked into the game for the Hawks. Inside to Walton. McHale takes it into traffic. Rebound Livingston. Now quickly to Davis. Wilkins is on a wing and they find him. Wedman, nice job. Nice job.
Dominique is so confident at times, he feels nobody can really guard him, and that time Whitman just stuck his hand in there.
Got him twice.
Yep. Wilkins lost his concentration on his own defender.
Nice catch by Scott over in the corner. Walt feed it underneath. It's picked off. Loose on the floor. Seasting got it with good hustle. The basket to Wedman, the assist to Seasting. Might not go in the book that way, but it's just an excellent hustle play by Jerry Seasting. Now Bill Walton's going to be called for a foul off the ball. And Robert Parish is going to come back into the ball game. Looks like Robert may have a little more tape on that left hand than he had to begin the ball game. Bill Walton gets a good hand.
Did a nice job of shadowing Spud Webb while he was in there, cutting off the direct attack of the basket.
I thought he was going to dunk.
Now, Seasting was expecting some help. As soon as Spud saw that he had a wide open alley to the hoop, he was gone.
We were talking some daylight there, yeah. Seasting wants to shoot over Webb. Nice fake. Good play, Wedman again. Scotty has had some great hands in this game. Wilkins on the wing, a pull-up. Not going down for Dominique.
He keep trying.
Yeah, he does, but they're not going down for him.
But they got their game plan in operation. They're getting the pace they want the Hawks.
They just have no answer for Kevin McHale on the baseline. Here's Webb off to the races, and Wedman is going to be called with the foul. An impressive dunk by Wilkins is not going to count. 6:45 left to play here in the half. Boston's lead, it's 7, 46-39.
Is trying to get some help. He shows him to the baseline, expecting one of the big guys to be there, only nobody was. And Spud just explodes right by Seasting. I mean, that is speed. And this little guy that we're looking at, and the prior play before the timeout, after a made basket, pushed it through the entire Celtic defense to create a good scoring opportunity where they had to foul him. Somebody's got to get up and stop him, jab step him, and that time Seasting was nowhere to be found, as he had lost him playing defense on somebody else. So they got to be very alert to where Spud Webb is and where he gains possession of the ball. They have to try and slow him down around midcourt.
Spud Webb, of course, the two big free throws that got the Hawks out of Detroit in the double overtime win. You see Boston by 5, 6.5 to play here in the first half. DJ wants to post up Johnny Davis.
Tree Rollins didn't have his limb over there quite enough to deter Dennis Johnson.
Wilkins keeps trying. Still not going down for him. 3 of 12 shooting so far for Dominique Wilkins. And that's going to be a reach-in foul on the man doing the dance there, Cliff Livingston.
Now this team gets back very quickly on defense. Atlanta, Boston likes to, before the defense is totally set up, slip it into Kevin McHale. At that time, they really had a challenge.
Larry Bird in and Scott Wedman goes out. Scott played very, very well. Got himself 4 points, but made about 3 or 4 really nice defensive plays. Spud Webb sits down over on the Hawk bench. Doc Rivers is in. Parish. McHale, the offensive board, won't go in for him, and here comes Rivers. Hawks are 4 on 3. Livingston got it. 6 points for Livingston off the bench here in the second quarter.
Told you, he gets out on that wing and people forget about him.
Seasting open. And that's going to be Boston ball as Wilkins and Rollins got tangled.
They really sandwiched Larry Bird that time to come up with that rebound.
Hawks are back to their starting 5 now, and Danny Ainge is in for Boston. The Celtics likewise looking to go the final 5.5 here of the half with the regulars. Bird posting up on Wilkins. They clear aside for Larry. Whitman on the double team. Parish, the offensive board. Won't get down for Chief, who still hasn't got himself in the book tonight with 5:12 to play in the half.
Boy, anybody close to Kevin McHale is really working extra hard to block him off.
That's a traveling violation on Randy Whitman as he was trying to get the pass over Dennis Johnson. The cutter is Dennis Johnson. Ainge left wide open.
Danny Ainge has become the master of the standstill jump shot against the double team. On that swing, he just gets it. He's got his rhythm.
Wilkins wants it. Parish the block. On the break, DJ off to Bird. No. There is a foul.
Boston is really looking to fast break. They are sticking it at the Hawk defense as quickly as they can. Great move by Dominique and super block by Parish, but look how quickly Ainge catches somebody free up the other end. And Bird, it was a tough shot as Doc Rivers made him commit rather early.
Boston by 8. Led by 5 at the end of 1.
You know, it's amazing to me how the Celtics make up for their lack of foot speed. They just get out there and then they pass the ball long distances.
Yep. Gets there quicker. Wilkins wants it. And they're going to call McHale on the elbow.
Well, they double-teamed him nicely, forced him back to Kevin. And he could have walked here. Watch the feet there.
Yeah.
Well, that was a walk. He took a little hippity hop, and it's not Easter.
Continues to struggle. He's got 9 points in the game, but
Taking him out of his normal shooting range, he likes to get the ball and take it strong to the hoop on drives. And it kind of thwarted him on that type of play.
Bird.
Put a fantastic pick on Dominique to shake Bird loose. He lost control and still had time to get the shot off.
Rivers might have walked there at the top of the key. Down to 4 on the shot clock. Rollins tried to keep it alive. It'll be Boston ball. Celtics looking to open the lead up to 11 if they can convert here. 3:30 left to play first half.
Hawks just are not shooting well, but the rest of their game plan is working. They're pacing the game the way they like.
Parish. First basket of the night for Robert Parish, and the Celtics have it in double figures.
He's a man they'll have great difficulty guarding. He is able to get the shot off even against Tree Rollins.
And the Hawks want a timeout. They do not want to go into the dressing room down double figures. 3:10 to play in the half. Boston on an 8-2 run. They lead by 11. Channel's got you covered for the Boston Celtics playoff action. We'll show you Game 5, if necessary, in this series next Tuesday night, May 6th. And stay tuned to Sports Channel for all Celtic home playoff action and information. Again, if the Hawks pull one off here in this series, we'll be back here for Game 5 next Tuesday. Bill Walton back in the Celtics lineup. Robert Parish again has gone to the Boston dressing room.
Sounds like something he ate.
Rollins, Ainge trying to keep it alive, and McHale gets it. Bird on the break. He's got a Walton with him. Has his pocket picked by Wilkins from behind. Rivers does penetrate well.
Who's ever got the ball in the middle will take it to the hoop for the Hawks, whether it be Spud Webb, Doc Rivers. You got to shut that man down first, cut off his penetration.
And there you see the score of the game, 56-47. Boston by 9. Walton. Oh, offensive foul is called on Bill Walton. That brings Casey Jones off his seat on the Boston bench. Let's take a look again. Welcome to our viewers who are watching the Whalers in Montreal. And that was called an offensive foul by Earl Strong.
Well, he had his one step, and Tree was there.
Bird to reach in steal, but Rivers got it back. And Rollins got the hoop.
That's what good penetration does. It makes the back line of the defense move, and all of a sudden, some of the big guys for the Hawks will become uncovered.
First basket of the night for Tree Rollins. And an illegal defense is called against the Atlanta Hawks. Kevin McHale was outside yelling at both officials about it.
And it's on Doc Rivers, I believe, who was past the halfway mark.
Celtics go right inside to McHale. There's Danny's spot. Not this time. Rebound Rollins.
Rivers really hustled out of that double team to get back out there and get at Ainge.
Wilkins. What a shot.
I'll tell you, they doubled and forced him to take a tough shot from about 7-8 feet.
Hawks back to 5. Atlanta has run off 6 straight here. Ainge for 3. Got it. Danny with 9 here in the first half. McHale's quick hands causes the turnover. DJ waiting for some help. Bird is the man. Nice up fake. 20 first half points now for Larry Bird.
Don't come rushing at Larry Bird.
At my door.
You're going to go bye-bye.
Wilkins, little hesitation move. Rollins all over the rebound. Boston ball. Danny Ainge slapped it off him, I believe.
He sure did.
McHale. The Hawks are not getting back right now. They're playing as if the half is over.
Great look by Dennis Johnson. And Tree Rollins was still grumbling about the out-of-bounds play. That's why it worked.
Whitman. And I think that's going to be Rollins clearing house underneath. Yes, it is, and that's 3 on the tree.
You've got to remain a weeping willow, Mr. Rollins. Big oak trees foul out.
Here comes Koncak in, and Rollins will sit down, not wanting to pick up that 4th foul. Celtics now will look for a final shot.
Right at Dominique.
And kick it into Bird. Larry with some room. Wanted it to go. Picks up the foul as Wilkins got a piece of him. The Hawks will have 5 seconds to get a shot off after Bird is at the line.
Before his career is over, Dominique is going to become one defensive player if he keeps playing the Boston Celtics, because Larry Bird is the master of the half-inch, and that's all really that Dominique is giving him, about, well, maybe a little bit more, about 1.5 inches. And he freed up his shooting hand with a little fake. Dominique is going to really learn after this when he starts looking at the films. You got to play Bird, force him to his left a little bit maybe, and then get that left hand up, and don't go for fakes.
Larry knocks them both home. 22 points in the first half. 9 of 11 from the field. Kevin Willis, it looks like, is going to take this shot. Wilkins can't get it off. We have played a half here at the Boston Garden, and the Celtic lead, the biggest of the night, 14. Celtics hit him with 9 straight to end the half. We'll be right back. We are at halftime. Mike Gorman along with Tom Heinsohn. As you can see, the Celtics up 65-51. The pace of the game a little harder than it was on Sunday.
I think the Atlanta Hawks ready to really run. The Celtics up-paced their game, too. They had a couple of days layoff, and I think they're back into the rhythm of their game. But they took it to Dominique Wilkins early and often, trying to make him play defense. I think the Celtics really key on Dominique most of the ball game. Then they used Kevin McHale's matchup, figuring that Tree Rollins wouldn't be able to deal with him. That worked effectively. And they played very effective defense against a lot of the penetrating moves that the likes of Spud Webb and Doc Rivers and Dominique try to use.
Yeah, second game in a row, Spud Webb really not a factor, at least in this first half. Again, we're at halftime here at the Boston Garden, 65-51. Celtics by 14, and we'll be back with more right after these words. Which is the type of pace I would think the Celtics want to be on, Tom.
Well, it should be a lot easier to get a lot of shot attempts, because Atlanta does not want to disturb the rhythm of the game. They want it to be upbeat, up-paced, and I think that the Celtics really should be gunning to try and take more shots than Atlanta, regardless of what it is.
Okay, let's take a look at those stats, and we'll see that the Celtics shot a blistering 61% in that first half. Neither team really spending a lot of time at the free throw line, which is surprising a little bit, especially that the Hawks went more, and that Boston's game is so dominated down low. Usually they get a lot of free throw attempts.
But they were double teaming the big people right away in many, many instances. And so the big guys really kicked it out, and they were looking for the outside shot. And then when they didn't have the open inside play, like the likes of McHale were just spinning off the defender when there was no contact.
And we did get word Robert Parish, by the way, just really has an upset stomach, which has been the reason that he has been going back and forth to the locker room in this ball game, and Bill Walton getting a lot of minutes. Let's take a look at some highlights from that first half. The Celtics really did have excellent ball movement. For example, right here, as we're going to see Ainge, McHale, and just about everybody getting the act.
As the double team, and all of a sudden Walton slips inside for the easy basket. And that's what the Celtics have been doing. The rotation that time by Atlanta, very good, but Wilkins forgot to go and get Bill Walton.
All right, Jerry Seasting did come in off the Boston bench and gave them some good minutes as Seasting was able to hit that outside jump shot on occasion and also played some pretty good defense. He was in there mostly when Spud Webb was in the ball game, and Spud Webb did not become that much of a factor. Seasting did a pretty good job, I thought, of keeping him in tow.
Defensively, I think that was very important. You'll see right now, Seasting really digging for the ball, makes a great steal. That's the old perennial Celtic diving on the floor. And, of course, when things like that happens, it inspires the other guys on the ball club to make some good shots.
Everybody talks about the quickness of Spud Webb, and Jerry Seasting, indeed, beating him to the ball right there. There's the halftime score. We'll be back with the second half right after these words. And welcome back to the Garden, everybody. We're just about set to go here in the second half. 1958, 4 games to 2. Were you around for that one, too? You just laughed. You don't answer, huh?
Yeah, that's the year Bill Russell got hurt. Missed, I think, 4 games in the series. And the Hawks beat us.
Some halftime scores here. Milwaukee 65-53 over the Philadelphia 76ers in game 1 of that series going on out in Milwaukee. And Houston with a 53-43 lead over Denver at the half. Do you believe that, Tom? 53-43, Houston and Denver at the half? That's usually a first quarter score with those two clubs, isn't it?
Well, they might have run themselves to death on Sunday, though. I mean, they were really running.
Olajuwon sure was. There's Robert Parish back out there to start the second half for the Celtics. Rollins, Willis, Wilkins, Rivers, and Whitman out there for the Hawks. No surprises for Boston. DJ and Danny in the backcourt. McHale, Bird, and Parish up front. All right, we're underway, and McHale has still got Wilkins on the defensive end, and Bird chases Willis.
Very important for the Celtics to play a couple of good defensive trips up the court.
Willis can't hit.
That was playing in percentages. You're going to shoot from outside, Mr. Willis, you better hit it.
On the cut, there's Parish. Nice spin. Oh, and a great play by Willis to come back and block it, but Ainge, an easy 2.
Just sitting there waiting on the outlet.
Danny in doubles with 11.
Put that in the coach's film library. How to cut off an outlet pass.
Rivers will take it in the lane. Won't go down. Willis keeps it alive nicely. See why they like this kid Willis down in Atlanta. And he goes on a hook shot for 2. 9 points for Willis. He had 7 in the first quarter, and then, like most of the Hawks starters, was pretty invisible in that second quarter. Rivers the near steal. Parish will get 2, and now Billy Oakes is saying the ball went off him, and it's Atlanta ball.
Wait a minute.
Now Earl Strom's going to talk with Billy about that one. Here's what happened right here. McHale bounces it off Oakes' head to Parish.
And by hitting Oakes, he's out of bounds. So, in essence, the ball was dead as soon as it hit the referee.
I like that play, though.
Get even with the ref, huh?
So the score stays at 67-53. 10.5 to play here in the third. Whitman walked with it.
And Danny Ainge helped create that walking violation. He showed double and then retreated and played the pass. Confused Whitman.
DJ, quick shot, got it. Dennis now in double figures with 10. Boston getting good production out of their backcourt. Rivers for 2.
That's the type of thing they can't allow to happen. Somebody to go coast to coast.
Bird loops it into Parish, and the foul is going to go on Whitman, who thought he had ball, but Robert Parish will be at the line.
That was a little fake pick and roll. They had both the Atlanta defenders lining up to try and take Larry Bird, and Parish spotted it right away. Had an angle to the hoop. Whitman alertly coming for the weak side. A tough job for a small man to try and stop a 7-footer on the fly.
Robert looking for the second. Had just 2 points in the first half. You see an 80% free throw shooter so far in the playoffs.
You know, that pick and roll play, Mike, that they use, They use it so well that sometimes they fake it. They get the defense thinking how they're going to play the pick part, and all of a sudden Robert Parish never sets the pick, heads right to the hoop.
Gives them all roll, huh? Wilkins forces one up. Rivers, and Danny picks it off. McHale swoops in.
Nice play by Danny Ainge to draw Willis. Oh.
Willis makes up on the other end. Willis getting booed, tossing some elbows on a rebound on the play before that. On the break, Whitman gets two.
That time, Dominique didn't turn his head.
Check out Mike Fratello, will you, Tom, top of the screen?
Mike is sitting right on the court right now. One knee on the court.
He's trying to shrink the court for the Celtics here. Defensive end. Whitman rebounds the McHale miss. Willis bumps off Bird, won't go down. McHale clears. Boston looking to run this time. DJ. Dennis will take it.
Oh, there he is. Take a look.
He's been in that position the last 4 trips. And Willis is fouled on the way through.
One of the things the Celtics have to guard against right now, the pace of the game is going to tell on the big people, the McHales, the Parishes. Those are the guys that have to get back and really protect against the fast break. The last trip that the Hawks had the ball, the 3 people back were Bird, DJ, and Dennis. And this is the type of thing that the Hawks can build up, a fatigue factor where they break your big people down. Well, let's see if it's going to pay off for the Hawks. You know, and Willis, as the 4th man up the court, Mike, is very, very fast.
Mike Fratello back to his bench now. 8 minutes now to go here in the 3rd. Bird cutting through. Parish is there, and he's fouled on the way out. It's not falling for Robert Parish here so far. Willis is going to pick up the foul.
Here comes Bird off the pick. He knows that Tree got mesmerized by McHale. The lane was wide open. Parish inside for the rebound, but can't convert. Took the blow, but it knocked off his rhythm.
Chief for 2.
He was an immense player, I think, on Sunday rebound-wise.
0 for 3 at the stripe tonight.
Bad stomach, Mike. Remember that.
I know he does.
Queasy stomach. Kind of blurs your game at times.
That it does. Whitman is trying to get free along the baseline. He does. Bird gets him in the switch. Willis has got DJ. He hits.
Took advantage nicely of that mismatch.
Willis is the leading scorer for these Hawks right now. Trying to go inside to McHale, who's battling with Willis.
Just a perfect pass.
And that's a palming violation. You don't see those too often, but Doc Rivers had that one up around his forehead somewhere.
Doc, back to medical school.
13 turnovers now on the Hawks with 7:14 to go in the 3rd. See Boston taking a lot better care of the basketball. Larry wants it. Here comes Rivers. Wilkins waving for the ball and got it. Goes to the hoop and DJ knocked it away. The Celtics are going to take a timeout here. 6:51 left to go here in the 3rd. Boston's lead is 13.
I realized something when I started Sullivan Tire many years ago. money, guys.
It wasn't enough to offer the best parts and tires.
Beautiful piece of
My
equipment.
customers expected more. They wanted to walk into a Sullivan tire.
See, it is a close one up in Montreal. The Canadiens holding on to that 1-0 lead over the Whalers. They are in the third period. And you'll get a chance to see that game late tonight here on Sports Channel. Don't forget, exciting thoroughbred horse racing comes your way all year long on Sports Channel. That's racing from Suffolk Downs 5 nights a week. See a complete recap of all the day's action tomorrow night at 7:30 and 10 p.m. here on Sports Channel.
What the Celtics have been able to do successfully here so far in this game is not allow the Hawks to score in clusters. And when they are able to really score 2-3 hoops off the fast break, they are really flying at you and get their confidence.
Dominique lets fly out deep, and McHale again clearing the boards. Hawks seem to be just playing, waiting for that run to happen right now. Kevin put it on the floor. Got it in a foul.
Oh, what a shot. What a shot. Little fake involved there on the tree. Look at him fake one way, spin against tree, and there was Doc Rivers, I believe, reaching in from behind. Yes, it was.
The line has one shot.
You know, he has developed these fakes in that low post. He rocks one way and then spins the other way, and they haven't got that move down yet, these defenders.
Celtics with their biggest lead of the night right now. Wilkins again trying to get involved, and McHale just shuts him off on the baseline. Rivers, and he draws a foul. Bill Walton's going to pick it up. Third foul on Bill. Robert Parish again back on the Boston bench. Let's take a look at the foul on the baseline.
Well, Kevin tries to seal him to the baseline, doesn't get there quick enough, but he does force Rivers to go underneath the basket. Walton has to end up the ultimate protector of the hoop, and he picks up the foul.
Rivers 1 of 2.
The Hawks really got going when Doc Rivers got back into the lineup and allowed Spud Webb to come off the bench. I'm surprised we're not seeing a lot of Spud Webb, and
just going to ask you about that.
His speed that has always caused troubles for the Celtics.
Bird alone on Wilkins, takes the fall away. Loose ball, DJ tried to keep it alive, but Rollins tracked it down, wants a little help, and Rivers provides it.
You know, particularly when the game is being played more at Celtics tempo than Atlanta Hawks tempo.
Willis, long hook shot. Loose ball, DJ's got it. Boston are running. 4-on-2 break. McHale. Dennis Johnson found the right man on that break, and a 17-point lead causes Mike Fratello to call a timeout. 5:27 left to go. The shooting here in the third quarter. Mike Gorman along with Tom Heinsohn, and the Celtics have their biggest lead of the night, 17 points, 81-64, 5:27 left to go, and you see the Celtic front court led by McHale and Bird dominating this ball game.
And the Celtics are lulling the Atlanta Hawks to sleep. The pace of the game, not the way Mike Fratello would like, and he does not want to go with Spud Webb to try and liven up that pace.
Atlanta ball. Bill Walton got a hand on it.
Just beautiful job of controlling the emotions of the Atlanta Hawks.
Wilkins.
Kevin took an elbow right in the chops.
First points of the third quarter for Dominique Wilkins with 7 minutes gone. Whitman, the quick hands to slap it away. Inside, Walton got the handle. 8 for Bill. He had 6 in the first quarter. Underneath Willis. Basket's going to count and a foul. Willis, the leading scorer for these Hawks in the ball game, came in averaging 13 a game in the playoffs. He's got 17 and will be at the line.
That's just a move. Nobody gets to him quick enough, and Bird has to end up with him. And that's too big an assignment because Willis can really out-leap Larry Bird. Take it strong to the basket.
Just the first foul on Larry.
You know, Scott Hastings is in the ball game now. What happened to John Concack? Hastings is going to guard
somebody if he can find him.
Yeah.
Ames sneaks through. 13 for Danny. Bird takes it away from Wilkins. Goes to the floor and gets it. Gets it up ahead. There is the play of the game. What can you say about Larry Bird?
Larry's got to lead the league in assists while lying on his back. Watch this. Pure hustle. Remember talking about Cowens a moment ago. As Larry Bird, look at that.
Left-handed, no less.
Left-handed. Gets it free, and Danny Ainge, of course, way out in front. And they're still standing in the aisles here for that play.
Unbelievable.
Spud Webb has now entered the game. I think perhaps a little bit too late. But you never know. Spud is the type of kid that can liven things up quickly.
Not that way. Boston 2-on-1, and Webb is back. Celtics by 20. Strom and Ainge really going at it on the other end. A technical foul, and somebody just got tossed.
Danny Ainge. Danny claiming he got elbowed. They called 2 technicals on him. Did not see the play as it happened after the steal. And Casey Jones very upset.
If we can rewind our tape, we might be able to find it. We'll be. Well, I guess we don't have it. We were following the action.
Well, Danny's gone, and without him in the lineup now, Jerry Seasting may be called upon to put the clamps on Spud Webb. Danny Ainge could back off Spud because he's that much bigger and still pretty good quickness and take away the attack angles of Spud. Seasting not quite as big. Probably will have to play him a little bit closer. And with Spud's speed, might be able to get inside.
The basket on the other end did not count. Somebody kicked Danny Ainge in the face when he was on the ground a couple of times, we're told by a couple of the fans behind us here. That's what got the Boston. There you see the aftermath.
Well, you can see Jimmy Rogers and Chris Ford already on the floor, so there must have been a scuffle. That's a nice scowl there and glare by Earl Strom. He's ready for Hollywood.
Again, a couple of the fans behind us claim they don't know which one of the Hawks, but somebody was down on the floor, and as Ainge tried to get up, they kicked him in the face a couple of times. The basket did not count on the other end, so the Celtic lead is just 17 with 3:54 to play here in the third. 87-80.
Well, how quickly the fortunes can change. Now, Seasting under the gun to contain Spud Webb. And he'll have to do a real workmanship job on Spud. The other option of Danny going to the low post against Spud is not going to be available to the Celtics. I don't think they envision putting Seasting in the low post.
Bird looking to work on Wilkins. McHale is there, but they're going to call Kevin for pushing off. And the crowd is really on Strom and Billy Oakes. We're told Kevin Willis was the culprit with Ainge. Now, we don't know exactly what happened, but it appears Willis and Ainge had a little set-to.
And he keeps getting involved with these Atlanta big guys.
I was going to say, the big guys, yeah. And now an illegal defense is called against the Celtics.
Where is the illegal defense?
Looks like Billy Oakes and Earl Strom are going to get these all out of their system right now.
I wonder who they called it on.
I think Dennis Johnson, Tom.
He was
right around the foul line.
Yeah, but his man was down around where he could be in the foul lane, and he hadn't crossed the median stripe, you know, that imaginary line that runs up the lane. Might have been Walton. Oh, that was a quick one. Watch out.
Seasting comes to double Wilkins. That leaves Webb wide open.
Okay. Get that kid's confidence going. You know, he hits a couple outside shots. You got to go get him.
And the foul is on Hastings as he whacked McCare. Here the reaction Earl Strom gets for calling one Boston's way. Earl doesn't call too many of them. Blocked by Willis. Seasting wide open.
Heads up play by Bird.
Hastings the open man. Boston by 15. 2:50 to go here in the third.
Oh, Mike Fratello is just walking all over that court.
Well, this building is just alive. There are 15,000 people with whistles in here right now wanting to make every call, every trip. Willis picks up the foul. Is not 4 or 5. Get him on the board for 4, and he goes to the Atlanta bench. Livingston's in.
I'm telling you that this is a very, very important stage of the game without Danny Ainge. Now they're making putting their second unit in the Hawks, and this is a running team for sure. That's about all they can do, and if Spud can create some tempo and free a couple of guys, they can climb back in. He's the guy that creates those clusters of baskets for the Hawks.
And you see the Whalers have come up with a goal in the third period. 84-74. Milwaukee now a 10-point lead on Philly after 3. Walton makes them both.
Seasting is backing off him a little bit.
Whitman's shot is going to count, and a foul is called on Boston.
When you get picked off, one of the things Red Auerbach used to teach is run through the pick, and Bird literally ran through Scott Hastings that time. He'll think twice, I believe, about setting a pick like that again. Physical intimidation, all part of the game of basketball. You're going to foul, make it a good one.
Hastings at the line for 1. Hawks really do suffer at the free throw line. Webb is out on Seasting. Whitman's got DJ. Bird coming around. Hastings on him. Wilkins has got Walton. Bill wants it.
Oh, he got fouled. He got fouled.
Wilkins out with the ball. Atlanta 4 on 3. He walked with it. No call. Hastings the rebound.
Watch out.
Got it to 13.
Here comes their spurt.
Whitman's going to be called for a foul. So I want to ask you something here. Now, everybody's got their style. Earl Strom has got his style. Earl Strom does not call many fouls in a ball game. Now, is that, if you're coaching, is that good? I mean, as long as he's consistent, you don't mind? Or?
Well, when you're at home, you don't like it. When you're on the road, you like it.
Okay.
Simple as that, because you feel the home team normally will get the breaks with the officiating. Crowd behind them. It is hard to say that a crowd can influence an official, but it's been known to happen. But Earl, you know, I always feels more or less that the makes a point of not letting the crowd influence.
Sometimes I think Earl thinks the game plays pretty well without him.
Not a bad idea if it's called consistently and consecutively both ends of the court.
Spud Webb with 8. Atlanta is on a 13-5 run since Danny Ainge went out.
I tell you, they'll get the pace back in the game. They got a little bit more emotion.
Bird on Wilkins. Scott fires. Hastings the rebound.
Good block out by Hastings on Robert Parish. And look at Spud.
Inside, Wilkins lost the handle. DJ breaks out of the pack. 4-on-2, and Webb got a hand on it. Nice job by Spud Webb as Boston had the advantage. Celtics will get it with 20 on the shot clock, 44 in the quarter.
Spud's creating tempo. He's just turning it off on the second passes.
And Hastings is called for the reach-in foul on Jerry Seaston.
I think Mike Fratello changed his normal usage of Spud Webb, perhaps, and only will put him in a game when Seaston's in the game because of what the Celtics were doing to him on Sunday, posting him up with Danny Ainge. So his rushes up the court were a lot longer than they will be against Seaston.
Don't see that too often. Jerry Seaston going 0 for 2. Webb coast to coast, and it goes in.
They angled him off. Tough shot. Getting interesting.
Bird. Yes. First points for Larry Bird here in the second half. Boston by a dozen.
Let me tell you, Dominique played Larry as well as you could play him. He cut him off at the baseline. The only thing he didn't do was have his left hand up on his shooting hand.
Webb will take the pull-up. Won't get down. Fights for the rebound. Parish has got it, and that is going to be the end of the third quarter. The Celtics had a 14-point lead at the half. Atlanta cuts 2 off that. 94-82 Boston after 3. Is where all the action is right now at the Boston Garden. It appears Mike Fratello is down there underneath. He and a fan ended up in a fight. Here's what happened earlier.
I don't know why he ended up there. It was only the end of the fourth quarter, but he ended up in the aisle going to the locker room, and it appeared to me he went after a fan. He's coming back out, putting his jacket back on, but he got in a shouting match with a fan. The fan threw something in his face, a cup of water or a Coke or something. He's coming back to the bench. Right now he's arguing with Dick Pavetta on the sideline.
Hastings is called for the foul on Parish, and there you see Fratello making his way back to his team. It all happened at the end of the third quarter. Fratello seems no worse for the wear.
All right, I need a little cooling off.
Looked down, next thing I knew, Fratello was over on the ramp, and so was the entire Atlanta Hawk team.
I'll tell you, Willis Reed, as an assistant coach, coming up, going after a fan, I think twice.
Parish makes them both. There's Willis to the right there with the notebook in his hand.
Yeah, when Willis drops the notebook, watch out.
Wilkins still trying to get himself involved. Spud Webb is involved.
All right, they're trying to pick and roll. Spud Webb back into the middle to create some penetration, get the back line of the Celtic defense to move. The Celtics played it nicely that time, except Spud hit the outside shot.
Webb has got a dozen. That's the Boston lead. Parish wants to go on Livingston. Does.
Livingston worked him up the lane halfway. Parish ought to be able to get better position against the smaller Livingston.
Whitman dumps it off. Livingston powers it up. Parish the rebound. DJ bullet pass inside off the hands of McHale.
Might become a nasty fourth quarter.
93-88 now. Correction on that score. Milwaukee over Philly at the end of 3.
I got Scott Wedman guarding Dominique now, and Wedman fronted him. They may have a good opportunity to alley-oop over Wedman.
Wilkins spins free. Dominique Wilkins just 4 points here in the second half.
Oh, Scott's in there guarding him. Might be a little different.
Parish again to work on Livingston. 2 more.
He's the man to go to right now. He cannot guard Robert Parish. Parish just has to get good position.
There's a nice feed from Spud Webb to Hastings.
Boy, what a gift. After a score, to be able to push it up that quickly and still catch the defense napping.
Hale and Hastings are really banging each other. It goes into Kevin. Off to Parish.
Watch Spud Webb. Here he comes.
Finds Whitman.
Boy, just collapse your defense to cut off the penetration, and he knows how to dish it.
Does push it up, doesn't he?
Oh, what a weapon.
Again, Parish wants the ball on Livingston. Cheatham is having a field day here.
Am I going to stay in this game? And obviously he's not, because Tree Rollins is coming off the bench. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
14 for Webb.
I mean, you wouldn't believe a 5'6" guy would have us going, uh-oh, would you?
Celtics are going to use a 20-second timeout here. 9:04. Let's take a look at what's going on up at Montreal as the Whalers are going to overtime against the Canadiens in Game 7. A fitting way for the Whalers season to come to an end, if it hopefully won't come to an end, but what a fitting final game for them in overtime at Montreal. There are more things going on in this building, I tell you. They just posted a Red Sox score, and you and I immediately started looking for a fight somewhere. We didn't know what was happening.
Tell where our heads are at.
I don't know if it was a final or not. The Red Sox are ahead 3-1, not a final.
Let me tell you, there's a man that would take on Willis Reed, right there, okay? With notebook or without notebook, Casey Jones.
With 3 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter, Robert Parish has taken all 4 of Boston's shots. Tree Rollins is back in now. Celtics have their regulars in there with the exception of Danny Ainge, who got tossed in the third quarter. There goes McHale. Rollins the rebound. Here comes Spud.
Oh.
Wilkins swoops in for 2.
See what happens? You have to drop a second man into the paint to cut him off. That's going to open up one of the wing people. And Dominique, if he's the wing guy, he's on the fly. You ain't going to stop him.
DJ. Crowd wanted that to go over Dennis.
But they came up with a poor shot.
Wilkins just fires. Bird the rebound. Finds Dennis Johnson. Spud Webb got back. Couldn't keep it. Wipes out a cameraman. He looks all right. Spud is who I'm referring to.
The referees.
Great hustle.
Will give this kid every advantage because he's smaller than them. I'll tell you, that was great hustle, though. Look at him get in the passing lane. I mean, he was a full 10 feet behind the Celtic player, and look at that hustle. He'd look good in a white uniform, wouldn't he? With all that hustle.
Celtics are going to take a timeout. 8 minutes and 5 seconds left to play here in the basketball game. Boston by 10. And as you can see, the Hawks have come out flying here in the fourth quarter. 6 out of 7 shooting, 4 out of 6 for the Celtics. Not bad, but Atlanta's got the lead down to 10. And you see the field goal percentages for the game. Boston right around that 60% mark all night long.
This is a great stage of the game for Spud Webb, perhaps when the big people of the Celtics are a little tired, to up-pace the game.
Lorenzo Charles is into the ball game to cover Larry Bird, and that is a surprise.
What is going on?
Parish couldn't handle a pass underneath from Dennis Johnson.
Well, you can't give up baskets like that.
11 turnovers by the Celtics, and the Hawks can get the lead down into single figures. Randy Whitman forces one up. It goes, and he gets a foul.
Watch out. Watch out. You know, a fast break team like Atlanta kind of counts on the fourth quarter, getting back into it, building up a stamina problem for their opponents. And I'll tell you right now, they're free and easy, and they're feeling good. Well, that was
brief for Lorenzo, wasn't it?
Well, he's in the book. And right home about that.
He covered Larry Bird and shut him out while he was on him, right?
Down to 7 points, however.
7.5 to play in the game.
Well, they've got Rick Carlisle in the game, guarding Spud Webb.
Parish in and out. Tree Rollins the rebound. Hawks can get to 5. Here comes Wilkins. He wants it. Dumps it off instead. Willis, long shot. Now I agree with you. That's trouble when Kevin Willis buries skunk jumpers from the corner.
I tell you, Spud Webb just creates all kinds of things. And this team, when they get a couple of hoops off of fast breaks, they get the feeling that they're invincible.
DJ, tapped in by McHale. Gave that one to Larry Bird. All right, I'll give it to Larry too.
Big hoop. Celtics got to try to get it up to 10.
Bird saw the pass coming to Whitman, but couldn't get there quick enough to control it.
Needs some good defense right now. Now that's going to be tough to do because Spud Webb can become the ultimate creator of the last 6 minutes of the game. They're hoping now that Carlisle will be able to put some size on Spud.
Nice feed from Whitman, and the foul's on Bird. It'll put Tree Rollins at the line.
You know what's going on right now, too, Mike? Much like the Celtics, when Larry Bird has the ball, kind of mesmerizes the defense. All the other players, other than the one guarding Larry Bird, have their attention riveted on him. That's what's going on with Spud Webb. Everybody's watching him and say, we got to stop Spud. In the meantime, other people are stepping in and getting easy shots.
106-101. Carlisle directing a little traffic, wants to go to Larry. Got Whitman up in the lip fake, and Webb came along and stripped him. Bird looking for the foul he won't get. Celtics have got 5 seconds to get a shot off. DJ is going to take it. Tough fall away. Rebound Wilkins. The Hawks can get to 3, and here comes Webb. Dominique a little hesitant that time. Willis the miss. DJ the rebound.
Celtics got to try and get a couple of easy ones themselves.
Bird for 3. McHale got the board.
And he got away with a push, too, on Tree.
Sure did. And he's going to get a foul on Rollins, who's upset about the push that was missed.
As Mike saying, hey, how many times can McHale keep pushing like that? Well, McHale is so cute. As the ball was being shot, that's when he pushed Tree, and the officials had their eyes glued on the shot. That's how smart he's become. I'll tell you, he's getting to be a super cutie.
32-20. Atlanta has outscored Boston since Danny Ainge left.
I mean, this is a real tough job for Rick Carlisle. The only thing he's got going is size over Spud.
Good double team by Carlisle. Wilkins finds Rollins. And he got the jump hook right at the buzzer.
Beautiful play by Dominique.
4-point game. Bird pops out and goes baseline. He'll be at the line.
Not to make the free throws now, all of them. Now this is going to be interesting. Scott Wedman is coming in for Rick Carlisle. That's going to put somebody, either Bird or Wedman, at the guard position. Presumably Wedman. But who's going to end up guarding Spud Webb?
Yes, DJ.
I would think so, but maybe they're going to pull a little cutie and say, Wedman, you guard him. And then when Spud, yep, how's that?
Spud's going out of the game.
I mean, Fratello didn't even stop to think about it. Now, that's not what I'd call a good coaching move. To anticipate what another guy's going to do, putting Scott Wedman in there perhaps and saying, or Dennis Johnson to post him up. All right, Mike gave up too easy on it, I think.
Whitman coming around the screen. Air ball. Willis to follow and a foul.
Nice rebound by Kevin Willis.
And Willis has matched his playoff high of 22 points.
Somebody doesn't get to Willis. Kevin McHale turned him loose, and Willis, with the quickness, stepped inside and just plucked off that rebound.
Again, the lead is 3.
I'll tell you, they'll be talking about this game. If the Celtics lose, they had a substantial lead.
DJ wants to post up Rivers. Illegal defense is called. Technical foul on the Hawks this time. I think it was Tree Rollins who's down there conversing with Billy Oakes.
So in the coach's chess game, Mike Fratello immediately recognized that they were going to try and post Spud Webb up and got him right out of the ball game.
I think misses the tee.
I think that might have been a mistake, Mike, because so what if DJ took him in and he scored a couple of hoops? You play quick doubles, and Spud Webb was causing all kinds of problems for the Celtics defense.
It was.
Calculated move by Mike Fratello.
Bird's cleared on Wilkins. Larry a runner. Won't go down. Rebound to Willis. Hawks can get to 1. The crowd wanted to travel. They didn't get. Willis, bad shot. Rebound is stolen away by Rivers. Hits it. 1-point game.
What a play by Doc Rivers. Parish did not protect the ball. He's going to have a bigger upset stomach than he had it in the first half if they lose this game.
Bird pops out. Wilkins is with him. Larry loops to Parish. Won't get down. Bird is there.
Big play by Larry Bird. Save that one.
Whitman tries to dump it off, and Wedman ends up with the steal.
Good switch by Robert Parish, and great foot movement by Scott Wedman to pick that pass off. And
Boston threw it away.
Dennis thought he had somebody not watching, and McHale really didn't have his hands up.
The Hawks have called a timeout. 3 minutes, 13 seconds left to play. Boston by 3. Welcome back to the Boston Garden, everybody. 3:13 left to go in this one. Boston's lead 3, 111-108. Mike Fratello coaching his little socks off over there on the Atlanta Hawks sideline.
That was a real gutsy move to take Spud out of the game, and you have to believe that it was done strictly for defensive purposes. Now you got to see if their offense can flow as well.
Wedman the block again. DJ won't go down, and Rollins clears. Scott Wedman has made some amazing defensive plays in this ball game. Willis a turnaround, short. Bird the rebound. 2:45 to go. Bird coming around a double pick. Takes it. Got it.
Dominique was with him, but didn't have his hands up.
32 for Bird. Boston by 5.
You know, for the people that say, been on Danny Ainge's case, you can see what happened.
Parish the block. And a foul on Doc Rivers. Sorry, team. That was a great defensive play by the Chief.
It was. Take a look at it. Ball gets inside, and Chief comes from out of nowhere, times it beautifully. Dennis gets knocked out of bounds, but Danny Ainge is really an important member of this ball club, and I think you recognize tonight what his true value to the club is, even though he doesn't score points.
Bird working on Wilkins.
Oh, that was a foul.
Yes! Atlanta wants time.
They put it in Bird's hands. And it couldn't be better. Watch Larry working on Dominique. He covers him to the inside, turns him to the baseline, bumped him. It should have been a foul in addition to the basket, but no whistle.
Bird has scored the last 6 Boston points. They have the lead to 7 now with 1:41 to play.
Well, that's a matchup that we said at the top is one that the Celtics like to exploit because they feel that Dominique really doesn't have the overall savvy defensively to even do a creditable job of defense on Larry Bird, because Bird is such a thinking player. You've got to be an exceptionally creative defensive player to make a dent on Larry Bird's game. And if there's one thing about Dominique, his creativity is kind of limited to offense.
Yep. A look at the Boston huddle. Again, minus Danny Ainge, who we know is downstairs watching this. There's the Atlanta Hawk huddle. The Hawks may have to start exercising that option of three-point shooting, and as you can see, Randy Whitman, though he hasn't taken too many, is probably their best shooter. Dominique seems to be the one who wants to throw him up most of the time.
Well, he can get the shot off because he can out-leap anybody. I don't think that's exactly his range, although each year he keeps moving it back an extra foot or two to where he becomes a pretty formidable shooter from 18, 19 feet.
He only has 18 points in the game, 6 here in the second half.
They've done a great job tonight of making Dominique commit further out from the basket than he likes to commit. He likes to take an extra dribble and go strong to the hoop, and once he gets in the paint, he goes over everybody.
Big trip here for the Hawks. DJ got a hand on Rivers, and that's a travel. Defensive stopper, Dennis Johnson.
Big turnover. Doc Rivers upset.
Bird wants it again on Wilkins as we're coming toward the 1-minute mark.
And they've isolated him.
Larry underneath to Parish. Yes!
What a play by Bird. He saw that Willis came over for the double. He knew that Parish would be smart enough to step inside.
Whitman backs out. In and out on the three-pointer. McHale's got it.
Well,
the Celtics have really taken him to task down the stretch here.
Yeah, but they got a scare. And they are a lot more free and easy offensively down in Atlanta, these Hawks.
DJ keeps it alive to Bird. And the Celtics will use the fresh 24 with 40 seconds now to go in the game. Dennis and Larry gnawed at each other.
The experience of a playoff-tested team is coming into the realm of helping to create this win. Bird!
36 for Larry Bird. And Boston's lead is 11 with 26 seconds to go. The Hawks a timeout. And Billy Oakes just waved Glenn Rivers away, who was screaming at him.
Bird one-on-one. Dominique trying to contain him a little bit. And there's Dominique with the right hand well below the ball. And Bird, just as calm as can be, swishes the net.
36 unofficially for Larry. In the last 10 Celtic points, 8 of them have been by Bird, and that one nifty assist into Parish.
I mean, you see Dominique. Dominique has the quickness to stay with Bird. I think a lot of his defense really has to do with what hand he puts up on Bird. He puts his right hand up. By the time he can move it over to even trouble Bird on the shot is away. That's how quick a shooter Bird is. But if you put your left hand up and play on his shooting hand, the right hand of Larry Bird, he's right there, and that reaction time Bird can't use.
From the time the Hawks closed to within 1, Larry Bird has scored 8 and assisted on the other. Well, the Hawks have gone for zip.
It's really amazing. You know, you watch Larry Bird game in, game out, and he loves to play in these type of situations. That's when he feels he's really tested. And I think he has a report card on himself. You know, I wonder how many check marks he's going to give himself tonight after this one. He's been fantastic.
Pass on the floor ought to get him a check or two.
Yeah.
There he is. Hot in the Garden tonight.
The way they're playing right now, the season's going to be a lot longer and get a lot hotter.
Spud Webb, interestingly enough, coming back in the game for the final 26 seconds. The Celtics up by 11.
Well, that was the dramatic move by Mike Fratello. Changed the whole complexion of his offense by putting Doc Rivers back in the ball game for fear of Dennis Johnson, who hadn't even taken a shot yet. Celtics hadn't utilized that low post. He just went as soon as they made the substitution. Nice, smart move by Casey Jones.
Wilkins is going to take it and throw it away. 22 turnovers on the Hawks. Bird loops it into DJ, who's got Webb to look over. Robert Parish gets it across the half-court line. The Celtics can run this clock out. Not much Spud's going to do here. That's it. Interesting. Haven't seen a game wind down like that before. The Celtics, though, come away up 11. Final score, 119 for Boston, 108 for the Hawks. We'll be back. Everybody, there is the final score. The Celtics win it by 11 points, 119 to 108. A bit of a scare from these Hawks, who got to within 1 in the fourth quarter before Larry Bird took over. And don't forget to stay tuned after this broadcast tonight for the Whalers post-game show. There you see the final score. The Hartford Whalers dream season came to an end tonight in overtime. Montreal beat them 2-1. Dave Douglas will be along to update you on that game. Right now, Tom Heinsohn and I have got a few words on this game. The Hawks gave them everything they wanted down the stretch, and you know, a real key to this ball game. And I like the point you brought out. If there is a maligned player possibly on this Boston Celtic team, it seems to be at time Danny Ainge. And yet, when Danny went out of this ball game tonight, that's when the game turned around.
Well, Danny Ainge is really the only guy that can play those super quick point guards. He's been tested the last couple of years. He's had to do it solely by himself, and he's a big player, very tall, to try and guard a much smaller, quicker man. But Danny Ainge got quick feet, and he's learned how to keep them between his legs. And without him in a lineup, the other guards, Seasting coming in, was not able to do it, and they tried several people, and it really was a great move by Casey Jones. And then I think a real bad move by Mike Fratello to take Spud Webb out at that particular point before they'd even shown the Celtics that they would try and exploit Spud in the low post.
Well, Spud Webb had definitely been a factor in that game. We have, as always, an Eastern Clothing player of the game. No doubt who he was tonight. He just took over the ball game down the stretch. Larry Bird.
Larry Bird just did everything. When they needed the points, he's their go-to guy. And Dominique Wilkins just does not have the savvy to play a guy like Larry Bird. Great shot right there. I mean, he had him going left, right, and as soon as they tried to double to help Dominique, he took advantage of that at key spots.
Okay, Sunday, the Hawks could talk about the fact that, they were coming off that emotional series against Detroit. They flew in on Saturday. They just, frankly kind of admitted they weren't ready to play on Sunday. They did play a much better ball game tonight. However, I looked in the scoring column. I think Dominique Wilkins, 6 points in the second half, a total of 18 points. Is this kid starting to wonder a little bit now?
Well, Boston has been handling superstars for years, and they don't panic when they see a guy of Dominique's physical skills. And what all the Celtics are doing, they put a much bigger player on him, Kevin McHale, and Kevin is backed off him and allows, it takes away the speed advantage that Wilkins would have on any other player. And he also is smart enough, Kevin, to send him to help. So they're getting 2 or 3 guys into the area and cutting him off, angling him where he's taking an awful difficult shot. And he started out hitting the outside shot. And if he'd taken a few more, maybe Kevin McHale would have had to go out and play him. And then Dominic could have got going to the basket strong.
I think that's a great point you made earlier, in that I think I saw Dominique Wilkins take more 18 to 22-foot jump shots tonight than I've seen him take in like 4 or 5 of the games we've done this year.
Well, you've got to do that if a guy like Kevin McHale is going to play you and you're going to back off. When he got into about the 15-foot range, Kevin McHale was going up on the shot. In fact, Dominique, if you remember, in the early part of the game, faked him out one time, and they'll have to reassess. But the big thing in this whole ball game, in my opinion, Mike, was the move by Mike Fratello. He is not playoff tested either, and you got to gamble once in a while, and I think he went the wrong way.
All right, let's take a look at our Nissan Major Motion play of the game. That involved Larry Bird down the stretch, big bucket.
Well, he comes up with a key rebound to put this ball game away. There's the little pick and roll. You see Parish move to the hoop, hits Parish, and Parish you think is going to be able to make this thing. It comes out, but Larry Bird says, I'm coming in and get the rebound. And boy, a more timely hoop. He made that great pass while he was lying on his back, but that was a great play because he should have been nowhere in rebounding position, and he was.
All right, again, the Celtics win this one. We're going to take a look at the stats, final stats from this ball game, I believe, in just a second here. And Boston, again, getting off 87 shots, shooting a very cool 60%. Free throws turned out pretty even, 14 for 24 and 16 out of 23. Rebounds, Tom, just the advantage of 2. Does that surprise you?
I think that the Hawks are very capable of rebounding with the Celtics. They've got quick people. All they have to do is be as determined as they were tonight to do the job on the boards. But this is not an experienced playoff team, and I think just the little things that the Celtics are so aware of after being in the playoffs for so many years, they took advantage tonight. The Hawks don't even know those things exist.
All right, let's take a look at the individual scoring. And again, it was Larry Bird leading the way for Boston with 36 points, 9 rebounds for Kevin McHale. And on the other side, Kevin Willis had himself a heck of a game, 23 points, and Tree Rollins chipped in with 9 rebounds. So the Celtics now head for the road. They will go down and play a couple of games against the Atlanta Hawks, one of them coming up on Friday night, and then you'll be around Sunday afternoon with the network. That should be a dandy down there.
And the Atlanta Hawks are a completely different basketball team in Atlanta. They feel at home. They get that fast break going. It's really going to be a challenge, and don't be surprised to see the Hawks give the Celtics a big scare and maybe even come up with a win down here. This series is far from over, and I know the Celtics believe that too. They know they're going to have to go down here and play tough to come away with a win.
Okay, if the Hawks do come up with the win down in Atlanta, we'll be back here in the middle of next week, next Tuesday night, for Game 5 of this series. Otherwise, keep posted to Sports Channel, and we'll keep you updated. You know, one last thing here, Tom. You're never surprised by these things. I am. They flashed something up on the message board just a minute ago. Philly, 111-108 with about a minute left, beating Milwaukee in Milwaukee.
Well, the guy that has to carry that team from here on in is Charles Barkley, and that's Terry Cummings' job. I don't think they have the other people that can stay with. The double teaming obviously didn't have an effect. But Charles Barkley is really playing top-flight basketball. He showed it on Sunday, where he didn't force a shot. He was under total control, and he really created the offense with his rebounding to create easy, fast break opportunities for the likes of Terry Catledge. So that doesn't surprise me at all.
Okay, maybe Boston-Philly is coming up one more time. That'll do it for tonight from the Boston Garden. The Celtics coming away with the win. There's the final score again, 119-108 for our statistician, Dick Light.